Now, let's keep our attention on the Western Cape. It is World Tourism Day, and the province's MEC for Finance and Economic Opportunities, which includes tourism, is marking the contribution that the province's tourist guides are making to the sector. She addressed the special graduation ceremony of 38 tour guides in Langa in Cape Town. Let's chat some more about the graduation and the projected amount that the tourists are set to bring into the province. We're joined virtually by MEC Langa from Cape Town this evening. MEC, before we talk about this great occasion that you were able to celebrate today, I obviously have to talk about the sector and how it's been impacted by the flooding and the damage caused by the weather over the last few days. And I'm sure, in as much as we've been speaking non-stop to various of your colleagues in the sector in charge of mopping up and that kind of thing, your office must have been just as busy as tourism would be expected to take a knock as a result of the damage caused as well.
Yes, absolutely. And so we're still, as you say, mopping up and trying to understand the extent of the damage and to what extent our tourist venues and destinations have been affected. And we're here to provide support. As you know, the Western Cape is a renowned tourist place to visit because of the natural beauty and our ecological diversity. And of course, we're increasingly vulnerable to climate risks, as we've seen with these floods. At the same time, we're expecting a bumper summer season. We're expecting to reach, for the first time, over 1 million inbound seats into Cape Town over the peak season. So now it's very important that we can be prepared and repair in time to offer the world a wonderful summer season in the Western Cape and South Africa.
And I suppose going forward, because this is the reality of the world that we're living in with the impact of climate change, that it's important for the tourism sector to be prepared for this kind of eventuality as we go forward.
Absolutely, and that's why we have to have a tourism and hospitality sector that is both sustainable and responsible. And it's not only South Africa that's affected, but many countries around the world. And I think that's probably why green and sustainable tourism is the theme for this year's World Tourism Day.
Now, let's speak about that a little bit. You had the great honor of being at the graduation for 38 tour guides in Langa in Cape Town today. Tell us a little bit of the program that they've come through.
Yes, absolutely fantastic event today. So the tourist guides went through a course that was not only focusing on first aid, but on the sort of major cultural sites around the Western Cape. So these tourist guides will be able to share some of our diverse and rich cultural and history with visitors from South Africa and from around the world. They're now ready to be accredited by the Department of Economic Development and Tourism and will be able to start their own businesses in tour guiding.
And then what happens from here? Because obviously getting qualified as a tour guide is one thing. Now you need to start marketing yourself. You need to decide what part of the tourism sector you want to focus on. Is it international tourists? Is it local tourists? What part of the Western Cape you want to become a specialist in? Or do you want to be a generalist? This is really where the work really starts, isn't it? What kind of support will they be given, or just guidance, as it were, now that they've been graduating?
So they've had also practical experience as part of the course, going to specific sites, hearing from current guides as well. They'll also be linked into the Tourist Guide Association, as well as, for example, Women in Tourism and various other tourism and hospitality bodies to support and guide them in their journey forward and in a career in tourism.
Now, I know this is something that the tourist sector has been speaking about for a very long time, because our tour guides are our frontline workers, aren't they? They're the people that meet our visitors coming into the various provinces. And there has been talk about the fact that there has been a lacking of diversity in that front line. Is it there the hope that programs like this will help change that perception?
Absolutely. We need to ensure that there is diversity in our tourist guides, as well as our tourist offering. And, the tour guides that graduated today come from Langa, as it celebrates its centenary this year, as well as from Athlone, from Fishhook. So there was quite a diversity of tourist guides that graduated that will be able to share with visitors the various cultural and histories that South Africa and the Western Cape has to offer.
I recently had the honor of interviewing the first sight-impaired tour guide that has started working in Cape Town. Do you believe that there is space for more and more types of tour guides in what looks like a booming sector in your neck of the woods?
Absolutely. Visitors are coming to the Western Cape for very many different reasons. Some of them are cultural, some of them are culinary, some of them are for adventure tourism. So we need tourist guides that will cater to all of these different wants and needs, and so that visitors can have a wonderful experience, and then through word of mouth, share those experiences with their family and friends, and in that way help to contribute to growing tourism. And as we see the Western Cape tourism really taking off, we've not only recovered from the COVID-19 pandemic, in which tourism and hospitality was very badly affected. We're now growing, and our tourism numbers are better than what they were in 2019, which means that we need even more tourist guides. And of course, we need the industry as a whole to now respond to what is coming from November. We're expecting approximately a 25% increase in the number of visitors based on last year.
Okay, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for sharing with us this evening. The Western Cape's MEC for Finance and Economic Opportunities, which of course includes the tourism portfolio, Mireille Wenger, joining us virtually from Cape Town. We thank her for her time this evening.